4 people are dead in a shootout at sea. This is Kenya News Update today. Coming up, you'll discover why a Florida-registered speedboat was in Cuban waters, what the Trump administration is saying, and how this incident could ignite a major international crisis. A violent maritime confrontation on Wednesday morning has left 4 people dead and 6 others injured. Cuban border guard troops engaged a speedboat just 1 mile off their northern coast. But here's the twist. The boat was registered in Florida, and the nationalities of those on board are completely unknown. This is a story of high seas tension, conflicting claims, and a potential flashpoint between the United States and Cuba. Meet the key players. On one side, the Cuban Ministry of the Interior, which says the vessel, bearing Florida registration number FL7726SH, was detected early Wednesday. They claim when their patrol approached, the occupants of the speedboat opened fire first. On the other side, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is urging caution. He described the shootout as highly unusual. It is highly unusual to see shootouts in open sea like that, Rubio told reporters. We're going to figure out exactly what happened. He stressed the U.S. would not rely solely on information from the Cuban government and is launching its own probe. But here's what nobody's talking about: the timing. This comes at a moment of already strained U.S.-Cuba relations under the Trump administration, and the location is critical, Cayo Falcons, off the Villa Clara province, a place known for migrant routes and smuggling. The Cuban government reported specific casualties. 4 individuals aboard the speedboat are deceased. 6 others from the boat are injured and receiving medical care in Cuba. And 1 Cuban officer, the vessel's commander, was also wounded. Cuba reaffirms its determination to protect its territorial waters, calling this a safeguarding of sovereignty. And then, something shocking happened. The political reaction from Florida was immediate and fierce. Florida Attorney General James Uthmire announced a state-level investigation, asserting that the Cuban government cannot be trusted. Additionally, U.S. Representative Carlos Giménez, who was born in Cuba, labeled the incident a purposeful murder. The dictatorship in Cuba has just murdered 4 people, he stated, though the victims' identities remain a mystery. Here's the part that will blow your mind. We have a boat from Florida, a shootout with Cuban forces, and 0 confirmed identities. Were they U.S. citizens, smugglers, asylum seekers? The U.S. investigation, likely involving the Department of Homeland Security and the Coast Guard, aims to find out. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed the White House is monitoring. But the core question remains unanswered. What was that boat doing there? The implications are massive. This isn't just a tragic loss of life. It's a potential international incident with the power to derail diplomacy. Some see it as Cuban defense. Others see it as an unprovoked attack. The controversy hinges on who fired first, a detail we may never fully know. But if the occupants weren't hostile, why were they armed? The payoff brings us back to the hook. 4 people are dead in a shootout at sea. The Trump administration is investigating, Cuba is defending its borders, and Florida officials are calling it murder. Do you think this was a legitimate defense of sovereignty or a disproportionate use of force? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more on this developing international story.